I'm here with Peter Byck, director of Roots So Deep. You can see the devil down there. Um, I gotta
Hey.
say, this is a really interesting. Oh, it's four-part docu-series,
Yep.
and this is a very interesting way to go about something like this. Because usually, documentaries are here's what's wrong, or here's what's depressing, or here's what's whatever. But the whole thesis of this is, yeah, that's depressing. How do we fix it? And then you actually come up with a hypothesis and test it throughout the docu-series. And
Yep.
so it's let's put our money where our mouth is. And I think I, I think it's helpful, it just kind of lays it all out there. What
Yeah.
was kind of your thought on doing it like this?
I don't like to bitch and moan. It gets old,
Yeah.
right? And if I'm focused on solutions, I'm actually feeling better, like just feeling better. And we figured that out with this film, Carbonation, which came out in 2011. It's a climate change solutions movie that doesn't even care if you believe in climate change. It's 84 minutes long, and 80 minutes is all solution with 4 1-minute problems. So that's been our thing. Like no blame, no shame. What's the situation? What can we do about it? Let's go. And so with Roots So Deep, we had a situation where, for me, climate change is happening. It's dangerous. And then we have all these ranchers and farmers who are grazing in this really beautiful way, echoing the way bison moved across the Great Plains, and it looks like it's doing some good. Like it looks like the land's a lot better. So, but we didn't know. Is this a solution to climate change? Is it better for the farmer? Is it better for the land? So we designed this research project to compare the adaptive grazing with conventional grazing on 5 farm pairs in the Southeast US. And yeah, it cost a lot of money. It took a lot of time. Um, but we got to meet some pretty amazing farm families on both sides of the fence, and that's what to me made this so much more enjoyable than it's not just a science project, it's a people project.
Yeah. And it's going to be weird asking questions because you lay pretty much everything, even behind the scenes, out in the docu-series. But one thing you pointed out at the beginning is all this is sound. Is it going to work? I don't know. And I think even humans historically have worked against our best interests. Even when everything's like, this is a win-win situation. No, I'm not going to do it for a number of reasons. What's kind of been your experience with that and in carbonation as well?
I'd say that if you can make a financial case, you're well on your way, which was one of the questions we had. Is this better for the farmers financially? I think people are very used to what they're doing and very, very averse to change. And so when you talk about change, you're going to get resistance. And then there's a lot of industries that are making a lot of money with the way things are right now. So they're going to fight for their turf and keep making money the way they're making money. Um, but when you talk to farmers about their land, when I talk to farmers about their land, I find out how much they love their land. And when we say we're doing this research, we want to compare you to your neighbor. A lot of times the conventional farmer thought, well, what are we doing wrong? You must be thinking we're doing something wrong. And we're like, no, we are not blaming. We are not shaming. You're not doing anything wrong. But we think with this research, we may find a way for you to save money and have more productivity out of your land. Do you want to join us on this hunt for data? And they all said yes. And so that said a lot to me, that you just talk to people straight, you tell them why you're doing something, and they're open, right? And curious. And that's what really made me excited about the farmers that we met on the other side of the fence, was they were curious. Once I found out they were curious about what their neighbors were doing that was kind of different, I was like, oh, that's a huge
Nice.
opportunity. Huge opportunity.
Yeah. And I hate to even ask this, just because don't really want to put it out there, but I feel like I must. Um, a lot of times, once politics gets involved,
Mhm.
that poisons the well, like regardless of whether it helps or not. I think the probably one of the best examples I can remember is Inconvenient Truth.
Mhm.
The fact that Al Gore even produced it, all of a sudden there's an immediate divide that's never going to be broken down.
Yeah.
And you avoided that in this entirely because there's no politics. But as soon as someone comes in and says, "Yes, this is a good idea," Oh, do they follow me? Cool, I'll follow the idea. Oh, they don't, I don't follow them. I'm against the idea without even looking into what it is.
Well, what we found along the years we've been working in this is that healthy soil is the common ground that I hunt for on a daily basis. And I'm all for meeting people who disagree with me on some things. I like that. And I don't want everyone to agree on everything. That's impossible. It would be incredibly boring. But it's this idea that we have to agree on everything or nothing it's an artificial limitation on our country right now. And it's obviously selling TV ads on news channels. It's getting some people elected who are using that. But when I talk to farmers, I know a lot of the farmers and I do not vote the same way. We all know that.
Yeah.
But we laugh about it because we're so into the solutions that they're doing and that I'm celebrating and studying and helping to get research done on that we're cool with that. You know, Ronald Reagan beat Walter Mondale 58-42 in the 1984 presidential election, and it was a landslide. And so in the United States, if you agree 6 out of 10 times with someone, that's a landslide. And so, one of our farmers, he jokes that he wants me to join the NRA. Like we joke about stuff that we know is different about ourselves. And we're able to joke about it because we're living in such a positive, solution-oriented game, which is soil health. It supersedes the small-minded politics that seems to be what everyone is talking about right now. But most people, when you meet them one-on-one, they're not like that. They're just not. In this country, I've been out in this country a lot over the last decade and a half, and I see a lot of common ground that just doesn't get reported. And so I see what's happening on our social media. We're getting people commenting on this stuff from all stripes, and they see soil health, regenerative agriculture as something very, very encouraging. And that's humanity. That's people. People love nature. And
Yeah.
that's where I want to build from. People love and trust nature.
Yeah, one of the theses of this is it works whether you believe in it or not, which I
Yeah.
mean, but the typically with the documentaries, like people will put out documentaries and they're really good and they're well-meaning, but
Mhm.
the people don't see it. But this is kind of one of those where the idea will persist even if the documentary does not. What's kind of your thoughts on that as far as like um just like a big enough platform for the ideas?
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is like sometimes you'll get a documentary, it's negative, makes you feel bad, and maybe a lot of folks won't go see it as a result of that. And will the solutions they're talking about and the things they're hoping for might not get out as much into the popular culture because of that. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, because I've seen so many great documentaries, and I'm like, the people that need to see this the most will not.
Ah, I gotcha. I know exactly what you're talking about now. So that is hard. Getting getting folks who who like are conventional farmers to see this film to give them an option that they don't even know exists, right?
Yeah.
And so that is part of our outreach, and we're getting all kinds of farmers coming to our screenings because we've been on the road for just about a year, what we call the Hometown Roadshow. We've been screening this as we've been building up to May 28th as our release date here in the US. And we we see a lot of conventional farmers coming to our screenings, and some of them just say flat out, I'm going to change. This makes so much sense. And that to me is the game. So we'll work really hard to get to the folks who don't know this yet, but will be real happy when they find out that
Have
this
you
is an
guys
option.
have you guys toured the movie with Alabama? It seems like a pretty obvious pairing, I think.
Wouldn't that be cool? Well, I'm hoping to get down to June Jam on June 1st, which is their big event to raise money for a lot of charities out in Fort Payne, Alabama. And love to talk to those guys. They're busy and they don't go on the road all the time, so it's got to be a pretty good reason. But yeah, I'd love that. That'd be amazing. That would be
Nice.
amazing.
Well, we have a what's in the box segment. And in the box, we have a bunch of movies. We'll pull one out each week and watch for the following week. And we have people put movies into the box. And these are movies that are either personal to you or a movie that's like, that one's really good and no one talks about it. What's a movie
Oh,
you would like to put into the box?
oh. Well, one of my favorite documentaries is Man on Wire. It won the Academy
Yeah.
Award. It was about the guy who walks on a wire between the World Trade Towers. And another documentary I really like is Thin Blue Line, because that actually changed that
What,
changed things. That was
which one? I think there's
oh
two
it,
movies
it
called Thin Blue Line.
it would be the documentary. I'm just spacing the filmmaker's name right now. I feel like such a doofus.
So am I.
But it's about a guy who's on death row, and
Okay.
he was he was innocent, and the film helps get him out of jail, and he was on death row, and um, and so that was a really really good film. Um, I love the Coen brothers, so you got to put "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" "Oh
Yeah.
Brother, Where Art Thou?" in there. I could watch
Actually,
that over and over and over again.
actually, it wouldn't be a bad double feature with this. It's kind of a
That would
similar.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh wow. Well, maybe we do that on some screening somewhere down the line. That would be so cool. Maybe we get them there. That would
uh,
be so cool.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, Roots So Deep, four-part miniseries available nationwide on VOD starting May 28th.
Can
Peter.
I tell people where to go?
Oh
You got
yeah,
it?
please.
Yeah. It's rootsodeep.org. We're doing it grassroots style. You come to us, stream it on our website. Do everything we can to make it good.
Yeah. Well, Peter, in a manner of speaking, you're doing the Lord's work, and
Oh
I
man,
thank you
thank
for
you.
it.
Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, this is a great docuseries. And as we mentioned earlier, I hope the people that need to see it the most do because it's really informative and extremely dense.
Yep. And we celebrate people. So hopefully a lot of those folks who need to see it will feel welcome.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir.